and taking out the tier 1 tower, it will shut Ivy's farm down by a substantial amount. So that's the real timing I worry about for Ivy.
Yeah, I think that's the point. The point you just made about the timing for the clock Darkseer and the offlane in particular is something that bothers me a lot with this combo, right? Because level 3 is when you feel stupidly strong as this offlane duo of clock Darkseer. And whether you can get to that point safely is in question. I feel like this lane they should be able to do so. It just depends on how much work Hanskin can do on this +5 silencer, in my opinion. But yeah, we'll see how much they can get done, because this offlane of Ivy, I think, needs to work really well. Otherwise, it does go into this very kind of greedy issue of we have 3 cores that just want to farm, right? So it does feel like the lanes do need to be dominant from Alliance to have themselves, rather from Ivy to have themselves a good game. Whereas Alliance, it's kind of like you don't really need to be too dominant, you don't need to be too greedy, you just have to buy space for Charlie. What is it, John?
Yeah. I'm just interested in the wards here from Ivy. They plant double wards on the bot river spot. So, maybe a lot of overlap in the vision game there.
Oh, they did too. Whoopsie daisies. I can't say that was on purpose. Yeah, maybe just a bit of miscommunication between... I mean, we've all done it, John, to be fair. I've done it many times. You know, maybe a bit of miscommunication, it happens.
Yeah, it does feel like this can give you really good vision over, say, bot rune control and spotting rotations out from the 4. So it makes it a lot easier to see if Ponlo's fully committing for the rotation and kind of open up your mid for Stalkov to just have a good time. We are taking a look at mid as well. TA versus Pangolier, Stalkov versus Chuen. And again, this is pretty alright for the TA to manage. Like, level 2, level 3 still feels better for Chuen, but the TA at 4, would say a 202 build can feel pretty hard to shove out at that point. Even just like, say, a 111 build by 3, you can kind of harass back into the Pango, especially when you know the shield crashes down. You can do a lot of damage up against melee heroes, so keen to see how much Chuen can do to stop that.
Yeah. Well, side lanes as well, of course. We're looking at top lane Aiden Coupe against Charlie and Hanskin. Should be a pretty interesting matchup again. The level 3 timing of Ivy here in this offlane is going to be where you really start to feel the pain here as Alliance, especially for poor old Hanskin. Like, he gets caught with 1 battery assault by this clock. He's probably just as good as dead at level 3, but we'll see how it does pan out. And of course, the other side lane, bottom lane Ponlo and S4 against JMV. And of course, is it Hani? Zani?
I think it should be Zani, because it's not Cyrillic, so it should be... Yeah, I think so.
Alright, well with
if
that,
it's wrong,
Zani... Yeah, JMV, they're going to be up against the Brewmaster Hoodwink. Like, this lane is quite painful as well, right? Like, for Ivy, like, you get the Cinder Brew with the Bushwhack. It is a devastating amount of magic damage.
Yeah, you can really try to burn down Zani quite a fair bit. At the same time, I feel like it's still stable enough for the Doom to just play with Devour in this lane instead of going for the Infernal Blade, and you do see a 1-1 from Zani early on. So you should just be able to farm, you can pop Scorched Earth to deal some damage back. Your weakness is really just in Mirana 5 in this lane. It doesn't feel as impactful, although JMV is finding some good angles to get some double Starstorms off. So there's always a little bit of poke back from Mirana there, but certainly a lane with less initiative for the side of Ivy. Like, they will just have to take the passive stance and leave it up to Alliance to try and punish, and for the most part, a Doom is stable enough that you're not going to get shoved away. You should still meet that Midas timing. Heck, if you get a good creep, you can kind of fight back. You've got the Chain Lightning creep up onto Sandy, so he can harass back quite a fair bit. We've seen that creep really dominate the lane. When you see an Enchantress up on the Doom, it's equally good.
It certainly is. You know, the only thing I could ask for with this this duo of Brewmaster Hoodwink, John, imagine Acorn Shot would dealt magic damage, so proc Cinder Brew. That would be so amazing. Because you could just proc that non-stop. I mean, it would literally make me so excited. As well, top lane Hanskin, he's not looking too excited right now. He'll eat a Fairy Fire up, but it's not going to matter. He will go down. A lot of damage being dealt here with those Iron Shells, as we have hit level 3 on our Darkseer. Even without the level 2 battery assault up, like the Clockwork's still level 2, but it doesn't matter. When you've got the level 2 Iron Shell, it's more than enough.
This is where the lane gets pretty painful for Charlie. He has done a good job just finding CS anyway. So I think for the most part, you're not too upset that the Silencer's the one falling. Charlie's still free to farm. That's the most important thing in this lane. Holding up against that aggression, letting your Terrorblade hit those key timings, and kind of go from there. So overall, I think not too bad for Alliance still. It's a good start for Ivy. It's definitely what they needed, right? Like we talked about their lanes having to crush.
Mid lane, he was in a bit of danger there, John, but does pop the refraction, barely able to survive. And Ponlo almost got him with that rotation, just had no spells to throw out. I believe they did deny the water rune away from him, because you did see Chuen get it on his Pango, so happy days there. Like, the TA is not having a very free time.
Oh. Oh, they almost got Coop.
They might still have him. Like, he is dying, yeah. Curse of Avernus, or excuse me, Curse of Arcane Curse. There's too many curses. Arcane Curse will take him out. This bottom lane, Ponlo ends up dying here. JMV able to pick him off.
Yeah, so you're off to a solid start already for Ivy, and you're finding some counter kill for Alliance, but it's not really the biggest thing to lose your Clockwork. You don't even lose in. You're a little bit too far from Hanskin. You don't have a Glaives up, kind of soak up. Getting really deep here with Zani, just buying that Ring of Health.
Zani, I'm not sure about this. Bushwhack's going to land. It's going to be a lot of damage being dealt. They'll try to go against S4 with the Chain Lightning, but it's not anywhere near enough. Now Ponlo going up against JMV should be just fine, but I suppose for the Doom, he does deal a lot of harassment. My only issue is this is a POS 1 Doom that's not farming right now. He just left the creep wave for quite a while and lost over half a wave out of that.
But it's still ahead. I think they understand their position here on Ivy. Again, you want to farm well, but you also want to stop the key timings coming out from Alliance. So you need to apply that aggression. Running up for the energy booster is interesting. He doesn't... I mean, I guess his arcane boots are flying out now with the brown boots coming in, so you feel better in that lane. Spam your spells. S4 isn't the safest, though.
Nice little bushwhack there onto JMV. Zani trying to get very aggressive here. Meanwhile, Hanskin will rotate mid lane, just pops the curse. Stoikov going to try and get a little bit aggressive, but there is going to be a setup here from our Clockwork. Hanskin in a little bit of danger, still blocked by the cogs, is going to go down. Every mid laner's nightmare, their support rotating and doing something like that and just dying to the other enemy mid. Not a good feeling.
Yeah, you don't really expect your Silencer to do much in a rotation, to be fair. It's more on really Ponlo on the Hoodwink to have to come in, maybe set up, try to get the Bushwhack going. You're starting to feel like you can't really burn through Refraction all too well. You are just depending on Chuen, and you only do 4 strikes anyway, so you have enough to at least survive all of that damage here for Stoikov and just play that lane. So you're hitting that early tempo for Ivy so far. Your lanes are working out quite well. You really haven't stopped Charlie though, which was our concern for the Darkseer lane. Like, Terrorblade can still play there.
Hanskin goes down, but look at this. Stoikov's being chased here. Nice pushback from Ponlo to set up. Arrow is not going to land in time. Chuen able to get the Rolling Thunder, but Stoikov looks like he can just sidestep this, and he will. Chuen not having the easiest Rolling Thunder, will have to back his way out, but now the chase is on. They pop the trap. They'll have another. In the meantime, Charlie ends up going down top lane, so even more disaster happening here for Alliance, because Chuen is going to get caught and does go down. Stoikov able to pick up the kill, and that's 2 cores down for Alliance in a matter of 20 seconds.
Yeah, big kills. Like we just talked about Charlie maybe getting a little bit too free of a time. They managed to focus in with Ade and just find that kill. And that's the one here you really need to stop. With every lane going this way for Ivy, their tempo is going to be met. Like, you're not going to be too far away from Stoikov from hitting his Dragonlance Desolator timing. Sani, he's going to have his Midas in a pretty good point. You haven't really stopped the Doom. To be expected in this matchup for Alliance. At the same time, it's kind of worrying that you're not really able to put a dent in the Doom. Right, so for Alliance, Charlie's probably not keen on joining in for a mid-push in that timing we talked about with Terrorblade. Like, when you have Metamorphosis up, around the 10-minute mark, you kind of want to run up, just push, take a tier 1 mid, and try to shut down the map from there, get some space out for your TB from that point onward, and punish greed. I don't quite see that happening for Alliance anytime soon.
Oh, bottom lane, they're trying to move in, but there is an extra hero to help out. Doom going to be committed here by Zani, and S4 going to be left behind as Ponlo needs to run, but they have the vision with the rocket flare. Ponlo, oh, it's a lot of damage with this battery assault iron shell combo. Way too much to deal with. So they will hand over the tip to their clock. Very nice rotation. Noticing that they were out of position here on the side of Alliance, and it's suddenly 8-1 for the side of Ivy. Hugely.
Yeah, they're just crushing it, right? Like, these two supports can do so much running around without necessarily needing any cores with them. Whereas in comparison for Alliance, they need Chuen ready, and they need Ponlo to be kind of connected to the Pangolier here. S4, once he has his ult, perhaps you can play, but that's a massive cooldown to expend for some moves coming out here. And you're still getting room to farm on your TA and your Darkseer.
Yeah, bottom lane, Ponlo's been caught again. He will drop. Rotation is incoming from Chuen, but it's a long TP. He'll finally get there. S4 is still chasing this pos 5. This is Clockwork being such a pesky hero. He will just kind of sacrifice himself for that, but it still feels well worth it. You force a rotation from the mid lane, you force Rolling Thunder to be expended, and all they get is a pos 5 block out of this. And you already got the Hoodwink kill, so you don't mind.
Yeah, you don't mind at all. It's just free space for Stalkov down mid to farm what he wants. Like this TA, Dragonlance is already flying out. The path to Desolator doesn't seem too far off, and you're getting that early connection timing lining up for Ivy. Like Mech's almost done an Ade up top. BKB for Sani after the Midas is going to be lining up here as well. And for Alliance, like, you look at Chuen, his defusal is coming up too. 2 parts away. The recipe is still a long ways off though. And that is your concern. Like, if this Pangolier isn't ready to face off against all the sustain and output coming out from Ivy, then you don't have someone to play tempo off of. Although Alliance will try to smoke up here.
But they will. They're going to head down towards the bot lane, see if they can find Zani, but it seems like this was already kind of scouted out. I think they may have tried to smoke underneath a trap. So there was a Moonlight Shadow popped immediately. Zani, hiding in the tree line, knowing they're missing. Chuen's going to show up bottom lane. Having a look through the tree line now, Zani, I mean, pings are out. It seems like he's already getting ready for rotations to come in.
Doom ready.
They will end up pinging him out, but Zani, he'll get the Doom off. Problem is the Rolling Thunder was already there. And the rotations, they aren't incoming yet. Here they come though. You've got one coming in, that'll be Stoikov. Zani, he's still alive, but S4, he's popped the Primal Split. Zani's still trying to fight this one out. We'll go back after Ponlo, but he will finally go down. There's now S4. He'll go for a bit of a chase onto Stoikov. Meanwhile, Charlie will go down top lane. And the TA, Stoikov, he is still being chased here by Alliance. Getting very, very low now. Still trying to survive through this. He'll go for the meld, but it's not going to be enough. In fact, now a third kill to come the way of Alliance, it seems. As the Cogs are not going to protect their Clockwork. He will also drop. And Alliance, they get a 3-4-1 trade across the map as even JM shows up. He'll take down Ponlo. In come more rotations. Zani's here now. Zani, I mean, he might just clean up. Chuen, very, very low on the Pango, will go down. JMV picking up a second. The respawn time is just so darn low. He'll even chase for a third now. Arrow, obviously not going to land. A very kind of obvious arrow being thrown out here, and S4 will just easily sidestep. But they do salvage a pretty dire situation.
They still find a couple of counter kills. It does cost them a lot of cores. Kind of streaming in one by one there on Ivy's end. At the same time, they did find Charlie a while ago while that fight was happening. So you're still overall not too upset on Ivy's end. You're putting a big dent on the timings of this Terrorblade. Charlie's still doing a fantastic job of farming up though. Not too far behind in comparison to Stoikov and to Sani. So he's still set to meet his own timings. Like Dragonlance up, Yasha to follow, probably the full Manta as well. Although
Now, I mean, jump in. Charlie again being focused here. He's going to try and fight back, but the problem is there is backup. He's gone. He is dead. I mean, he had Sunder available, but I don't think he felt as though he could get in range of the Darkseer, so he does die another time. And this is the thing, like, the Clockwork Darkseer combo, while it can be 50-50 with this combination, when it hits, it really hits. And that is exactly what is happening. Like, max battery assault plus iron shell, you don't even need the Darkseer there.
No. That's the great thing about how Ivy's been playing. Like, they've been able to leave Ade alone and just have this Iron Shell and Coop. He TP's in, he's got the damage, and they've been really keen on making those plays happening on Ivy. Like, they've been really aggressive on their support duos, just jumping around, doing a great job of just suppressing the map out from Alliance. Alliance, though, going for another smoke play. This one not under a ward or trap. They might find a good flank. They've got that Primal Split ready here.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key ability, I think, to try and make Alliance really win out these fights. Is just look at this. Coupe is just moving in. He does not give a crap. He'll force the Primal Split out. That seems kind of worth if Ivy can get everything out of everyone out of there. But Ponlo, he's going to find another target. He finds the Darkseer, so Ade goes down. And now suddenly the Primal Split seems a lot more worth for Alliance, as they are going to move into that mid-tier 1 tower. It's kind of the thing for Ivy, right? Like, with such a great start, you don't want to throw too many bodies back the way of Alliance. With that Alliance now claiming the first mid-tier 1 tower in this game, which is, I gotta tell you, pretty unexpected. Arrow is out onto Ponlo. Hook shot. Oh, it's right on target. Right on target, finding two of them. They'll commit the doom immediately. In fact, they never did. It was a pump fake. Alliance is still fine. And the Clockwork's gonna go down again. They don't have the follow-up.
Yeah. It looked good to start off with, but they couldn't reach the back line. It's really difficult right now for Sani to just get that key doom before the roll is up. And we saw a massive bushwhack come out from Ponlo. That held back the aggression, bought enough time for everyone to kind of get out of the cogs and, you know, just save themselves at that moment. Big takes for Alliance. They get to have a lot of map control go back their way. Charlie's still farming really well, although you are starting to see that lead pull out for Sani and Stoikov, as they have been left alone for a fair bit and managed to, you know, just make work of their Midas and Devour here, and Sani as well. The side of Alliance, and this key timing on Charlie is going to be pretty scary. Like, yes, you've still got the magic damage to deal with. You've theoretically got the TA plus Mel that can make it work.
They just lost Sani. It's really starting to fall apart here for Ivy. Like, after such a dominant laning stage, they're just kind of getting caught left, right, and center. And now Alliance, they're looking for the bottom T2 tower.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah. And they've got the output for it with Charlie around. Metamorphosis still has a lot of time left as well. And this is down to a couple of key timings for Alliance. Like, they get that diffusal up on Chuen, his output just becomes incredible. Right? This is the exact reason why I believe it was either Fog, I think it was Fog who was complaining about this. Like, this feels absolutely broken. Like, the man drained the output you have in these fights. You combine that with this Ags timing Chuen is trying to rush for. The Pangolier just feels really safe and really impactful in these fights, while Ivy are, you know, going into the shortcomings of this draft. It's greedier, they need to farm. They've got the Deso and Stoikov. They give their tier 2, they want to take Roche, but they haven't taken pickoffs before this. It melts fast, but Alliance are aware.
This is way too risky. They come out of the smoke now. Everybody gotta get out of the Roshan pit. They are still trying for this as well. They are still trying for Roshan. Knocked out of the pit is the TA, but S4 is all over him. Surely no way out is Stoikov. He's going to try and get Chuen. He does get the Pango down, but it costs his own life. Zani still trying to fight. Already committing the doom here. S4, he'll just keep going. He doesn't mind. In comes Charlie now. Even without the Metamorphosis, he can help with the reflection. And that's going to be your Pos 1 Doom going down once again, maybe? Not quite. He's somehow actually going to run his way out. As JMV picks off Ponlo. Alliance, completely forgetting about the Pos 1 Doom, will go back towards the Mirana. And they'll have their way with him, I do believe, as he does go down. But Roshan isn't going to be free for Alliance. They've got to stick around here, because I think Ivy, they are still in a better position to try and force Roshan out of this.
They still are. It is a little bit tougher without that Doom up on Sani, so taking that fight, it's not going to be as easy to punish Chuen when the roll is down. They do have Roche Vision with a trap though, so they can tell, and they've always got the Flare Stream Coop to kind of check that area as well. I think Alliance are fine without forcing Roche themselves. They understand that it's on Ivy to kind of take that tempo. It's Ivy that feels like they have to play this faster, because in a late game scenario, Terrorblade versus all these heroes, it gets pretty hard for the TA to just force out the Terrorblade, right? Like, this hero just has a lot of armor. You tend to go for a lot of stats on the build-up as well. You outrange the TA by a good margin. So you can kind of play up against that quite well. We've seen that matchup go pretty much Terrorblade favored, although some cases You can see the TA kind of work, but it's really down to tempo. Like, the TA has to be ahead. You are ahead for Stoikov, but not by a huge amount yet.
They're still hanging around that Roshan pit here, Ivy, realizing it has not been taken. They will stick around. The thing is, had you had the Metamorphosis up on Charlie, he may have made the call to go for it. Now he does have it up, so you certainly want to try and force a fight if you are Alliance. Only problem being Primal Split is still 10 seconds away, but then again, it's only 10 seconds away, so might be time to smoke up as a unit and try to run at them again and maybe swipe that Roshan from underneath their feet. Because Roshan, it is still around half HP. I mean, hell, even if it's full HP, like, as long as you've got meta running, you'll be fine to take it. But it seems like Alliance for now, they're going to sit back and relax. Just happy to deny the Roshan away from the TA at the moment. They'll just keep their farm going. I mean, Charlie is still relatively behind, even if he has found quite a bit of farm now. Still needs a lot more to feel comfortable. Is that it? Has felt, or rather has been caught out here by Ponlo, it seems, as they'll pop the Moonlight Shadow and try to run. Ponlo now might need to be the one to run, because him and Han's going to be chased down by Zani. They're going to be alright. Instead, S4 now being looked at here by Ivy. Surge is there. They're having a look for the Panda. In fact, never mind. They're going to run into Hanskin. There is going to be a Bushwhack to help out.
Oh,
Doom
no.
was also committed, but on who?
Illusion.
What? Oh, he dooms an Illusion. Zani forced to pop his BKB and run.
Oh, no,
He will
no,
TP
no.
up, and now Roshan's open.
That is an
Wait.
open Roche coming the way of Alliance.
What was
He threw
that
an
Charlie's
Of
illusion?
the Pango. No. It was Chuen's, I think. It looked like the Pango illusion to me. Just doomed it up, and Chuen rolls in afterwards. It doesn't pan out. They don't check the damage values first. Now, the Roche, it is slower. There is a threat for a counterfight. Although, at it.
Yeah, he's been caught out. Like, they'd love to get rid of this Darkseer as well while they're at it. He will be able to just surge away. It's kind of the scary thing, right, against the Darkseer. Maybe he gets a nice vac wall off and you have a bit of an interesting Roshan dynamic going on. But for now, everything's fine instead. They're having a look around for this Clockwork and they are going to find him. He'll still run towards the Roshan pit, but the hookshot's perfectly blocked off by Chuen. Very nice positioning there from the Pango. And with that, Roshan is going to go the way of Alliance, and suddenly the net worth lead is only 1k the way of Ivy. And things are looking a lot more challenging as time goes on.
That was rough for Ivy. Like, losing your Doom, losing your fresh BKB on Sani as well. Both of those things just not lining up for you. It provides such a huge opening for Alliance to just play that game, even if they don't find big kills. Like, all they really kill off is the Clockwork twice. It's only Coop dropping 2 times in a row, but it doesn't matter. Because you lose the Doom, you lose your team fight. You don't have anything like a blink up yet for Addy, so he can't just kind of go in, try to get the big wall vac combinations going for his team. And for Alliance, like, meeting these key timings, having to save for Charlie up in the form of the Hurricane Pike, along with his Manta, it feels really terrifying. It's hard to kind of jump that Terrorblade until you get maybe... You do have the blink up in Zanny, but you have to wait for that next Doom. Then you have to make that choice, though. Like, do you want to Doom up the Terrorblade, even disregarding the Aegis, right? If the Aegis wasn't there, do you really want to prioritize Terrorblade over a Pangolier? It doesn't feel safe either way. It feels like you need a solution for both of these heroes here.
It's very hard to tell now for Ivy, right? Because it just had a bit of a... I mean, they had a great start, but it's just kind of been thrown the last 10 minutes. Mind you, now they do have the full BKB up on Stoikov, so they might want to try and make a bit of a play, but they may get also caught out here by Alliance. Scoop's running right into them. Polo going to see him, but the Bushwhack will not land. Sort of 4 staff away from the Clockwork, and he's going to be okay to back his way out. And kind of ruins the smoke here from Alliance's. They will have to kind of go back to the drawing board, but mid lane, that's a nice Bushwhack, Ponlo. Completely blind onto Stoikov, going to force out the Moonlight Shadow just in case. In the meantime, Charlie's just casually taking tier 2 top tower. Forced the glyph out, and immediately just backs his way out of it.
Still in the area.
Charlie, very far forward. Gonna pop the cogs here to try and escape here on Coop. Alliance not gonna see the initiation they wanted. Mind you, they commit nothing, right? They've still got the primal split up, they've still got the meta up, though Charlie is currently being watched very carefully by Ivy. But it's very scary trying to jump a TB that has the Aegis, and they know he's got his whole team on that high ground.
They showed when they were trying to jump Coop. There is counterplay ready on Ivy's side. Again, Doom is back up in Zanny. It's just a matter of targeting. Like in this case, you probably do just want to pin down Chuen. Take the Pango roll out of this team fight if possible, and kind of try to ignore Charlie as long as you can. Clean up everyone else. Take that control away.
They're still watching Stoikov here. They're going to find a double damage rune now for Stoikov, so he's going to be very happy with that, I'm sure, but are they going to defend this top tier 2 tower? Like, it's still slowly just being chipped away at by Alliance. Alliance want to force the defense because they've got all their vision around this triangle. They'd love to fight in this area, and it seems like Ivy just kind of accept the fact that they can't fight here. They'll just let it go.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
I mean, it's into Aegis, and again, it's a tricky game to find a good Doom target because there are like 2 big targets you need to keep an eye out for.
He got baited by the TB illusion. He hit the arrow and he thought he had something going for him, but not quite the case, as Alliance will pick up a Mirana kill for their trouble. And suddenly, Alliance onto the tier 2 mid tower. Gonna have no problems taking this one out. They might even try high ground. Like, you've still got the Aegis up, you've still got plenty of time on the Metamorphosis. And the thing is, when Charlie backs off out of this, he's gonna have a full Skadi up. Well, almost a full Skadi up. And once you have the Skadi against TA, it is not a very fun time for her.
It really isn't. You also just have Hanskin getting quite a fair bit of int. And we talked about this potential, right? With Chuen having the defusal, with a silencer on hand, if you look at Coop's mana, I can imagine that with a couple more deaths, just one swash will bring him to 0. And it just feels unplayable. Even if it's not 0, you're not going to be able to get your full combination out in these fights. You're not able to spam out the flares as much from backline. It just feels really awkward as the game goes on and as Alliance finds some of these kills racking up their way. For Ivy, I mean the key times for them are still like Blink and Stoikov is big. I would say Ags Octarine for Sani, because once you've got the AoE Doom, it fixes a couple of your targeting issues. Like, you can just theoretically get control over the Terrorblade and the Pangolier if the fight is just right and your positioning is just right here.
Yeah. For reference, by the way, like, that defusal, but in fact, hold that thought, because Charlie may get caught here. He's going to be alright. He'll see the clock work, and I mean, he'll just go for the TB illusions. It's about all he can do here. For reference, that defusal blade with the swashbuckle, it'll burn 160 mana every time, and that's basically 3 rocket flares that you're not going to have. So it's just a little bit, it's just such an ugly experience for him to have to deal with. That's without the Ag swashbuckle hitting you when you shield crash. You know, it's just very, very yucky. There's Ivy. I mean, they're going to smoke up, run down bot here, John. They've got an Octarine core now up on Zani on that pos 1 Doom, and he'll TP right down to the bottom lane. It's a nice pincer maneuver. Pono's the one to get the scouted out here with the smoke, though S4, he gets the primal split off just in the nick of time. Can they fight back? S4, he'll lose 1 Bruling. Looks like he'll lose a second, and now he's got caught on the third. So a nice little bushwhack to hold them back for a little bit, but S4, I believe he's just going to be left alone to die. So they do hookshot him up to ensure he does go down. Hanskin eventually popping the global silence, but it's not going to mean much. Does allow him to at least escape with the TP. Problem is they've also found Ponlo. So the Hoodwink should just die here, and they do get the very nice cogs off, though he does push himself out of there. But eventually, JMV going to be able to pick up the kill on the Mirana.
Those are actually pretty big kills for the side of Ivy. It costs a lot of resources from Alliance to try to bail out. Global silence down, split down for a little bit of time. And Ivy don't really commit too much outside of the hook shot, which is fairly low cooldown anyway from Coop. So you can look to just fight again. Like, they must have spotted that Octarine on Zani, but at the same time, it's not the biggest deal. You're still kind of gunning for the Ags. That's when the big reveal is really lined up here for the Doom. And for the side of Alliance, they're still building up. And it does feel like as this game goes on, it's kind of all in on Charlie. You are looking at the Aeon Disc timing for S4 to kind of take that frontline risk for the team. And more durability coming up for Chuen. Like, even the plate mail coming out here for the Pango is going to feel big in his durability up against that TA. So you really want more armor to be up on your team, as it's really just Charlie that feels secure up against that damage so far.
Alliance, they're looking to maybe smoke up again here, John. They're just all grouping up mid. Ivy are pretty much as a team. They are maybe a little bit split up here for a fight, but close enough to get there in time to help out, surely. But never mind, no smoke to break. They may be just hoping for an early Roshan timer, but there we go. They do pop a smoke eventually. Roshan could potentially spawn in 3 seconds. We'll see.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It's going to be a quick one. 9 seconds away from respawning. They're going to go straight high ground, though. They saw Zani, and he can't be expecting this. Right onto the high ground they go. Zani eventually going to be able to get his BKB off, but needs to back off. He won't have that available for the team fight any longer. So they'll get right to work on the mid-racks. And Ivy definitely want to try and force a fight here if they can, but without the BKB on the Doom, it's so hard to see it happen. They're going to make the jump with a hook shot. There's a 9th back wall onto Charlie, but S4 and Charlie both getting out just fine. They'll pop the primal split just in case onto S4. An Alliance, they could still potentially look to turn this one, but they might just reset and go for Roshan instead. It just seems like the safer option.
They do not have Metamorphosis up for that long, so their output's a lot slower, and the side of Ivy actually wants to chase. They still have Doom ready.
They will chase indeed. Both sides now realizing Roshan is up. Maybe this is the opening for Ivy now. Like, you're going to have your BKB up in 10 seconds here for Zani. You could think about just forcing Roshan. Problem is, you don't have the BKB of Stoikov. He's going to be kind of missing that for another 43 seconds. They seem like they're going to try and force this one anyway. It's dangerous. This is not a safe Roshan to take for Ivy, but they're playing a very risky game here to try and make a comeback in this game 1. Because they are certainly fallen very behind as they've already caught up to TA. Forstaff is there though, but Chuen, he does hit the Rolling Thunder. They'll Forstaff once again, so he's going to be fine as now the Doom does come out on the Pangolier, but he's already rolling. He'll just roll out of it. That's Doom committed and really amounts to nothing. Roshan is still very, very healthy as well. And Ivy now in a very precarious situation because Alliance are now on the prime seat to try and take Roshan.
I think for Alliance, they're just waiting for that Metamorphosis to be off, which isn't too far off and should align closely to when your roll is back up anyway for Chuen. So you're going to have a much better time after that reset, whereas for Ivy, it's a longer time until that Doom is up and running. They'll Moonlight out, but they're trying to take these massive risks. They just don't quite have everything in the tank to really take it. And again, it's just a targeting issue, right? Zani, he's forced to Doom up the Pango to prevent the follow-up swashes, to prevent the shield crashes from coming out, but it just leaves so much room for, say, Charlie in the backline, if he does decide to come in, to feel really open about just taking that fight. All he has to fear is just a terribly dilution from the wall of Replica. Beyond that, like, you're pretty safe to go. And before that blink for Ade, it felt a lot harder for the Darkseer to get into these fights. Now with the blink up, Ivy can take a much more aggressive stance now with the Darkseer. Like, if they do see that clump up in the Roche, a big vac wall, that can change the fight.
That it certainly can. Both sides just staying around the Roshan pit as best as they possibly can. Basher coming out on Chuen, that could be a real deciding factor in this next team fight. BKB now up on Charlie is certainly a deciding factor, it feels like, as the TB now not going to be anywhere near as afraid of the team fight that Ivy has to offer. And you do have more damage coming out on Stoikov very soon. He's looking towards the Daedalus. In the meantime as well, Zani's going straight for an Aghanim Scepter build up on the Doom, as they might run right into each other. JMV and Coop are both getting caught out by S4, but they will force staff away just in the nick of time. Though Chuen will go for a bit of a chase here with the Rolling Thunder. Inhibit is there onto the Clockwork. He is a pretty sitting duck here. They do commit the Doom here from Zani onto the Pangolier.
Oh,
meanwhile, S4, he'll go for the Primal Split. Who are they actually chasing? Everyone's popped BKBs. Stoikov, he will at least take down Ponlo, but now he's slowed up by the Skadi. He's got no way out. He'll try to meld, but it's not going to be anywhere near enough. It's all for the sake of killing off a damn hoodwink. There's Ivy now just trying to get everyone else out of there, but they've also caught another. Hoop's going to jump in with the hookshot to try and save Ade, but it's pretty much save a buddy syndrome here. Global Silence will be popped. The Darkseer trying to run, but the Silence not allowing him to pop the Surge. They'll even lose the Clockwork's Courier in the meantime as Charlie picks up a triple kill on the TB. And now Roshan is certainly going to go their way. No problems here for Alliance.
Just didn't line up for Ivy. Like, they get the Doom off to stop Chuan from becoming even more of a nuisance with the shield crashes and the swashes, but the blink forward from Stoikov was right in the path of Chuan on the retreat. So he jumps in, he gets stunned, provides an opening for Alliance to group up, retarget onto that TA, and just get the cleanup they wanted to. It was a very spread out fight from Ivy, and that was from Alliance getting the vision in the first place from the high ground with S4. So they clip the targets, they force a response out from Ivy, and the response is just a little bit too scattered. Alliance, they just come out on top in a big way. The Ags being up in Zani could change things. At this point, you will want to just jump in, Doom yourself, and chase down these heroes you want to keep pinned down. You don't really have too many support staff, 4 staffs. You only have the one on Hanskin, so no 4 staff on Ponlo. Not yet, anyway. So that AoE Doom is going to feel a lot more impactful for Zani in the next fight. And for Ivy, they have to find these openings now. They've got to get this combination of Vac Wall plus Cogs into AoE Doom. If you can catch Alliance in that way, and that team fight feels pretty free for Ivy if Alliance do stay that clumped up for that engagement.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Certainly in the driver's seat here is Alliance. 1k advantage, which really just doesn't matter anymore. Like, the draft of Alliance completely online now and just seemingly very hard to kind of challenge. As they are looking to group up and maybe try to force high ground once again. Ivy doing what they can. Hook shot off the mark, Ponlo. Gonna juke that one out with the Glimmer Cape and the Scurry. I mean, you are still seeing the bot wave being forced in by JMVs, so it's kind of hard to go through the bottom lane if you are Alliance. And they're not looking to back off anytime soon either. They are clearing every wave that comes at them. So Alliance maybe try to go through the mid lane. There is still a melee barrack standing there, so there's still a pretty nice objective to take if you can as Alliance. But again, they are still just waiting for creep waves to make their way over to the Radiant base. As in the meantime, Charlie now has a full Shadow Blade up with a Chrysalis, looking to build a Silver Edge, but needs a bit more gold. Just move into the melee barracks, and you can see Zani, he's just currently farming at the moment. It's like he wants to build into a Refresher Orb, but it's just such a while away. It's going to take some time, but he's going to let the mid-racks go down. Just take the time to farm instead.
Yeah, I mean, this is a lot of space for Alliance to just do what they want in these objectives, though. Like, it's a free push for Charlie. He's just using the illusions, backdoor being taken away by the creeps in the mid lane. And they don't have the best wave clear to actually clear out those illusions fast enough, so he gets significant damage off. Like, I get the patience game coming out from Ivy, but these objectives, it does feel like they're falling a little bit too freely. Just very little resistance. Although,
that's a very quick Glimmer Cape here. Charlie, he is still perfectly fine. Who was that? I think it was Ponlo with the very quick fingers. Not sure if that was just preemptive, but he seemed to know they were coming, and this makes it so they can't actually get the initiation they really wanted. It's Charlie now going to find a double damage rune, of course. On a Terrorblade, a DD rune, Silver Edge up. He's going to be a scary boy.
this should be the fight forced out for Alliance. And they still have a minute and a half left in the Aegis. More than enough time to try to get something going. Inside of Ivy, we need to see a big AoE Doom out from Zani. If he can find his good initiation angle, and they get the follow-up, Ivy still has a fighting shot, but they have to execute. It just feels simpler for Alliance to play this game right now.
Here we go. The Daedalus is now up on the TA, so Stoikov, he does have that burst potential. No buyback gold, though. But at this stage of the game, with the way this game's gone, you don't really care for buyback anymore, because this is your last hurrah. They'll make the hook shot. Vacuum is very nice. Charlie taking a fair bit of damage, but he'll just get right to work now with the BKBs up. Meanwhile, Chwen's just holding everyone else back. And so far, Cooper's died on the clockwork. Alliance, it seems like they want to back off. The Aegis, I mean, it's still 50 seconds away from expiring, but without the Metamorphosis, I don't think Charlie really wants to fight.
Nah, that's enough to hold him back. I'm a little bit surprised that Ivy and Zani didn't opt to go for the Doom there. Like, we see that huge vac wall with the cogs, but didn't see the full commitment coming out from him even after popping the BKB through the silence. Maybe just recognizing it was really hard to pin down Alliance there. So they just let it go. They know that they can't get any further aggression on the high ground. Aegis will expire with Metamorphosis down, so Alliance can't really gun for more. But they're still in the driver's seat here on Alliance. Like, it doesn't take too long for the roll to be back up, and Chuen is going for Travels up to kind of get control in these waves as well. And they're just still hanging around that area. And they know without the tier 3, someone's got to respond. Stoikov's got the quick burst damage to deal with Creep Wave though, so it's harder to look for that opportunity onto the high ground. And I suppose for Ivy, I mean, you didn't use Doom, so you can still threaten with it. You can save up for this refresh. Double AoE Doom from Zanny. Again, that can change these fights in a big way. You just need to see them toss it out there when the opportunity looks ripe.
See what they can do. I mean, they're still in this game. Nowhere near out of it yet. I mean, it's just so tough with the kind of draft Ivy has. While you have got great scaling, it just hasn't really panned out their way. And they're going to try again. Moonlight Shadow has popped. Ivy. They head into that Radiant jungle, see if they can find somebody, and they might run right into S4 in a moment. In fact, Ponlo's the one being watched because he's farming a creep wave. Ida's going to move in with the Iron Shell, so Ponlo, does he realize this is happening? He seems to, because he pops the Scurry, he is well aware something is wrong, and now, 4-star TP away, he's going to be just fine. I mean, it's kind of the thing, like, it's fun to get the Iron Shell damage from Invis, but it does eventually reveal what's happening, and gives a chance for him to get out before the hookshot comes in.
Yeah, and it's not like it's a lot of damage that allows you to really soften up the targets just yet. With the Glimmer Cape up, Hanlo was kind of just tickled along there. Just enough to notice, but not enough to be a major threat. So, backs off in the nick of time, waste some more time out from Ivy at the least. Again, their build-up is it's speeding up on Zanny. Like, the refresh is pretty much ready, just waiting for the buyback gold on top of that as well. We've seen them find these opportunities for the big vac walls. We just need to see the follow-up from Zanny. Like, he's got the War Stomp, the AoE Doom. Once you line them up in that vac wall as well, it's fairly easy for Stoikov to get some good Psyblade usage there. On top of that,
Chuen's looking to move in. Ponlo not really lucky with the Bushwhack. They are only going to find Coop for now, and well, the Clockwork is going to die. So, not exactly what they wanted in this fight for Alliance, but they'll take it. It's still a +5 kill. Luckily for Charlie as well, he's got the Axe Blessing up, so only popping the Terror Wave for this. Does still have the real Metamorphosis as they are going to jump in. Zani, he's out with the AoE Doom. Still trying to run away is Charlie. Instead, they'll have to take Ponlo's life away. Charlie going to survive, pops the Metamorphosis. Will run right back towards Vincento and does find him. JM's down, and now they even found the TA. That's the much bigger target. Stoikov trying to blink away, will go for the fight, taking down Hanskin with him, but it's not worth it. He does go down, and may be forced to buy back here to defend high ground if Alliance do choose to go for it.
I'm a bit surprised Ivy chose to force that fight out. You already lost your Clockwork. You get this jump in on the Terrorblade, but they have 4 staffs to save. Both supports now in Alliance do have the 4 staffs up. So it's easier to bail out of that AoE Doom. You need hard hold. And your hardest hold is just coming out from Coop. You need probably just the cogs on top of that vac. And that's where the fight feels clean, but without it, it's just hard for Zanny to really get much use from that AoE Doom. And Alliance, knowing that's down, they're just going to clean up. There's really nothing to stop them from just going for the bots at racks. Probably not able to swing for top. If they did, that would definitely force the buyback right out, but they're so far ahead, I wouldn't fault them for just gunning for it anyway. They'll play it safe, though.
Top lane, Zani. He's going to be okay to TP up. Ponlo can't get there in time to try and cancel that one off. 2 racks is now up as Alliance. 10k advantage. Happy days. Ivy. Again, not out of this game yet. You have some core items coming up. There's an axe being built on Ade, but problem is Roshan is happening. Rocket Flame will give the vision. Don't know if they can get there in time, but they're going to try. Jump in. Hookshot is there. Everyone in the Roshan pit. Global Silence popped as well. The Aegis is on the deck. Everyone trying to click it, but nobody's getting it. Where's the Aegis? Charlie finally picks it up. Oh, boy. So close yet so far. Complete fiesta in the Roshan pit as they will refresh the Doom, but more so for the BKB. Zani just trying to get away out of this. But he is a sitting duck now, bashed up by Chuen. He is going to go down. Buybacks immediately coming up from Ade, but this game is looking so tough now. Like that Roshan, it felt like their final chance to try and make a comeback, and it just doesn't happen.
Just doesn't. It's just way too noisy to kind of figure out what to pick up.
He got the
They got
axe.
the Ag's blessing. Yeah, he picked it up at the least, but I don't know if that's going to be enough here.
I mean, it's something. See what he can do with it. I believe he gave it over to the Darkseer, so Ade now doesn't need to buy his own Ags. You do have the normal punch now available on the Darkseer. We'll jump in. Vacuum is there. Normal punch onto S4, or rather Charlie, but Charlie can just sunder it right off and go right to work onto Stoikov, who's trying to run, but the damage output is just insane here from Charlie. And the tier 4 tower is now suddenly under siege as Alliance. Oh, jump in from Zani. Doom is out. It's onto Charlie, but is there follow-up? They're going to try and jump in. Go after the TB, but keep in mind, he still has the Aegis up. So he's got the secondary life plus the Terror Wave, as they are getting right to work. Charlie is still just mad fighting through all of this, but will finally go down the first time. Alliance, do they leave Charlie be? S4 is still sticking around. Charlie's going to fight against the world on his own, basically. They'll vac him back, and Charlie eventually going to drop. A triple kill for Stoikov. Only issue being is they got the Megas up. So, sure, the game continues, but Mega Creeps are incoming.
Right. That's the kind of isolation we needed to see from Ivy, the kind of chain stunts and control they needed to pin down these targets with that Doom up. It's a big win, but with the map the way it is, I don't know if you can get enough from Ivy. It does feel like they need to force back the buybacks and then get the kills on top and try to go from there. Like, they've got this DD and Stoikov, so they certainly can force the issue onto the high ground.
They've got to try, right? Like, you really haven't got many other options. Thing is, the buybacks are there, like, and the respawn timers, they're not that long, so I don't think they're going to quite try for high ground, because even now it doesn't feel like they've got anywhere near the damage to get it done. Instead, they're going to kind of take the blessing as they do, and you know, it's just like the net worth lead is only 5k now. You know, we're back in the game somewhat. Yes, we have to deal with mega creeps, but there's a chance, and that's all that matters sometimes.
Yeah, we still got a chance. I wonder how much of a chance Dota Plus is giving. Good old Dota Plus is giving a 21% chance for Ivy right now. So all
That's
things
all right.
considered, it's not bad, right? Like, you'd expect at the point with Mega Creeps up, and to be fair, the net worth lead from Alliance isn't huge, but just the map state, normally Dota Plus kind of goes crazy and just says 99%. So you've got a shot on Ivy. And they are reaching this point where, you know, you've got the Ags up in Coop as well in the clockwork. So you've got the overclocking going off, bigger AoE stun on the hook shot, and we have seen those hook shots be massive from our clockwork here. And just the rocket flare spam as well. Like, you're getting some answers out. You also take a look at Stoikov queuing up the Divine. He understands what's up. He knows what this game is boiling down to. No, he changes. Alright. Not brave enough. Goes for the Swift Links. Fair enough. It's a safe play. Not as exciting, but sensible enough.
We'll see what they can do. I mean, the Alliance obviously want to put it into this game if they can. Swift Blink almost built up here by Charlie. They'll head through the top lane. It's always that huge advantage when you've got Mega Creeps up. Like, you just feel so confident, knowing that even if a team fight goes bad, like, chances are that they can't actually get to the high ground in time to make a difference. How many games have we seen where the Mega Creeps just take over and just start hitting the tier 4 towers in the Ancient while the fight's still ongoing? Like, it's just so tough to defend against these damn things. James Vincento currently being watched. Chuen gonna pop the Rolling Thunder early within the smoke. Does move in and does land the initial stun. That'll be JM gone as Charlie just pop the Terror Wave, just to ensure they have the damage output. Mind you, JM Vincento, he does have buyback available, so he can come back into this for the next team fight if he needs to. But as you can see by the lines being drawn out here by Alliance, it's not like they really want to try and force high ground. They just want to control the whole map. Just farm everything. No need to force high ground when you've got such a huge advantage. Not in net worth, but in just map control. And now it is about kind of increasing that net worth advantage if you can.
I want you to take a look at good old Ponlo right here, getting frisky, queuing up the Dagon.
Of course he is.
Classic Ponlo. You know, no Ags being queued up. The decoy feels pretty nice. No Hunter's Boomerang for him. No, no, no. He has to go Dagon. We need more damage, guys.
Oh, absolutely. This is what I mean. Like he's giving Arthur and Loader a heart attack back there somewhere. There's Ivy. Chuen's going to jump in. Rolling Thunder is there. S4 going to pop the Primal Split immediately. An Alliance, they're just looking to go right after the tier 4 towers. No more messing around. They know they can just kind of take these down very, very quickly as S4 will find the first. Charlie just letting the illusions do the rest. Ivy, very hard position for them to try and force here. JM Vincento
JMV?
jumping in, already being caught up by a bushwhack, but will be fine to just leap out of there. Because now the Ancient is completely exposed here by Alliance. They're trying everything they can to clear out these creeps incoming. Alliance is kind of riding the Ancient though with these Primal Split. Brewlings as they do catch out Hanskin at the very least, but Charlie's there with the Terror Wave. They'll pop the Doom onto Charlie. Back wall is dropped as well, but the BKBs were ongoing, so it really does nothing. And Alliance, seeing all this, they just back off. They still have the Megas. All the buildings but the Ancient is cleared now. They just won't risk it. Without the metal, without the Terror Wave, just no need for it.
Yeah. No need to force the issue any further. There's still a refresh Doom ready on Zanny. And you did have to pop Global Sound, so you can just sit back, relax, maybe wait for the next Roshan here for the side of Alliance for Ivy. And they've still got some bite left. It's just getting harder and harder to see those angles. Alliance just has much stronger jumps with her cores right now, whereas in comparison for Ivy, you're still reliant on pretty much Coop just jumping in. Like, Coop getting at least a Cogs, or starting off with a Cogs vac from Coop and Ade, which is easier said than done. So it's just harder to find these windows of opportunity for the side of Ivy right now, whereas for Alliance, it's a much simpler game for them. This could help the cause though. At the least having a Nullifier out does stop the Force Staff on your Doom target from being a big issue. So you can actually pin down Charlie and look for that kill on the TB if he does go too far forward. Speaking of Charlie though, he did find another double damage rune. I'm sure Alliance will want to make use of that another way. Again, being blessed here, Mike.
I mean, that's why we call it Gaben's Blessing, Jonathan, you know? Roshan, winning team, doesn't matter. Someone's getting double damage. It's Ivy. I mean, maybe that's the new map, new patch change, right? Like, maybe after... Oh, hold on a minute. Never mind all that crap I was about to say. Stoikov. Divine Rapier up on the TA now. He's a big boy.
You know, I like the timing. The Divine comes out and the Dagon comes out from Ponlo too.
Ponlo actually bought it. Oh my god.
Can you imagine if this actually cost him the game? Not going for a Shard or an Ags? The Dagon?
You know the worst part is, this guy spent years being unrecognized, trying to fight for recognition in the process. This guy spent years trying to get a team to pick him up. Right? Great player. I'll give it to him. He's a great player. And then he does this kind of crap. Like, he rushes Midas, he buys Dagons. Like, he's part of a historical org like Alliance that's probably paying him good money to buy Dagons and Midases. I mean, could you imagine?
You know, I knew that from the moment we saw his play on Aster Ares that Ponlo's kind of lost it just a little bit. I mean, it works when it works, you know, these are just... This could work. The Dagon burst could work.
This could work, yeah. They found the clockwork here, John. Coops down. He does have buyback. Alliance, they were looking towards the next Roshan, but to jump in, Hanskin, he's already down. That was a quick blow up by Stoikov, but now they've got the Doom caught out. The Doom, I mean, he's trying to survive through it, but the Permastun is out. Buyback, but Ade's already gone. Oh my god. Too much damage. Still, Stoikov's going to try, finding S4. That's a nice start. Zani still chasing, or even pick off Ponlo here, it seems like, because Ponlo... He tries to run, but there's just no way out of this Doom. And they're still going for more. Problem is the Ancient is currently exposed under attack, so Zani and Stoikov both going back to defend this. As Ponlo has brought back. Charlie chasing down JMB. JMB's fine to TP out. Roshan's still a minute away. This game, it's such chaos here, because it's like Ivy can't get out of the base for enough time. The Ancient is always just under danger now.
This is where arguably the PA Ags is massive for Stoikov if he's able to farm it up. just go straight for the blessing, or if they take the next Roche somehow and snag that away again. Like if you have the TA that can jump in and out of defending and offense, then that's where the game can actually feel manageable for the side of Ivy. And with the Divine Rapier damage coming through here for Stoikov as well, he's got a lot of output. It doesn't take too long to deal with the Mega Creeps. So you have some solid solutions coming out there. Let's see, Roshan almost up. Alliance still in a better position to force that one out if they wanted to.
They certainly are. It's just so scary now with the Divine TA. Like, the amount of damage that Stoikov can pump out is a little bit intimidating, I'm sure. As you saw, just a normal hit there did around 1.3k with a crit. That's without the meld.
Precious bounty.
And it's not like he's really done farming yet either. Like, you could still probably go for a moon shard. I'm sure something else in the books as well. Like, you're 6 minutes away, basically, from tier 5 items, so who the hell knows what's going to come out there. You wouldn't mind seeing, like, a Stygian Desolator coming out for Stoikov. That'd certainly help. Overwhelming Blink now being delivered on Zani. Roshan officially available, getting arrowed here, so just kind of stuck in the river. Alliance, I mean, they're being very patient.
Oh, sorry, just look at Ponlo. Like, okay, for a while he actually just had his Dagon in the backpack. I'm like, why do you buy it?
I'm telling you, now he's regretting his choice because they could actually lose the game. Like, it's possible. So now he's certainly regretting his choice.
No, it'll pay off. Trust me, Ponlo will get a Dagon kill. It will be the most amazing thing ever. He's keeping the ceremonial robe, so a little bit less magic resist as well. A good amount of burst damage on hand. What could go wrong? And there's the Ags. That's where things can go wrong. Stoikov can jump around and clear out waves.
Sonic projection. It's an ability. Now suddenly, you have a way of dealing with these mega creeps here with Stoikov as Alliance, which AM's going to be spotted there for a moment, but does break the smoke of Ponlo as Zani does reveal himself, but will back off as well. Bushwhack will not land here from Ponlo. Zani's still hanging around though. Those illusions giving the vision. Moonlight Shadow may protect him for now as Chuen cannot see them. Just rolling around blindly, actually hitting them with the swashbuckles that are coming out, but now Rolling Thunder's down. Jump is there. They've got the Doom out. They found S4. That's a great target. Hook shot though off the mark. 4 staffs away. He's still fine as Charlie now pops the Terror Wave trying to go for a fight, but Arde's there to make sure he can't continue chasing. There's your Dagon coming out. I'm not even sure what he Dagon. Just did no damage. Zani, in the meantime, still running away from Charlie. There's an arrow. Not going to land. Meanwhile, they caught the Doom with a Bushwhack. Ponlo picks up Zani, takes him out. That's your Doom down for 2 minutes. They've got Coop as well. That'll be the Clockwork dying. And it seems like this game is well and truly about over. There's 3 heroes are down. 1 only has buyback. No Roshan necessary. Alliance, they will rush for the Ancient. I don't see a way Stoikov can defend this on his own, but he's going to try. Pops the BKB early, but cannot deal with Charlie. Arde, he's going to go for the normal punch. Ponlo will just Dagon the illusion down. And now Ancient is under siege here by Alliance. Still playing it very, very safe because they don't have many BKBs available, but it won't really matter. Chuen will just hold down the TA. They'll take the TA's life eventually. Who picks up the Divine Rapier? Someone wants a stat pad. Chuen will do it. And with that, the Ancient is gone. Stoikov, he'll die maybe another time, but nevertheless, game 1 is over. Alliance.